Hey guys, hey, it's Linda Lou from Linda Lou Creates, and let me just double check here, make sure that I am upright. I am. Okay, good. Hey, thanks for joining me for my first of 5 Facebook Lives. It's going to be every day this week, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm going to do a one-sheet wonder, and I'm going to do featuring rather the in colors that will be retiring when the new annual catalog comes out in a couple months. So I'm kind of having a little prize patrol, so to speak. After I'm done with my Facebook Live, I will post here in my on my business page a hint on what the colors I'm going to feature tomorrow at 8 o'clock for that Facebook Live. The one for today's has already been is closed now. You can't take any more guesses. What I'm going to do is pick someone out of there and send them a card to say thank you. Also, share today my Facebook Live. Put in the comments that you shared, and all of those who have shared, I will put your names in a hat as well, and put you in for another card. So chance at receiving 2 cards are up each week, or each day rather, this week. So Blueberry Bushel, that is the color that we're going to be working with today. So hey guys, good to see everybody. So Sandy, Sharon, Sandy, oh my, Nicole, nice, thanks guys. Blueberry Bushel, I love blues, so this one was right up my alley. So, like I said, it is an in color, will be retiring, so there are all of the additional things with it, the ribbon, the paper, and these wonderful happiness blooms enamel dots. I love these things. They come in various sizes, and they're relatively flat, so they're pretty good as far as popping them in the mail. So, okay, let me sort of clean up things a little bit here, and I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, because we're going to do, like I said, a one-sheet wonder. So I want to try and not get too much of a glare happening here. So I printed out kind of what we're going to be, how we're going to be cutting this. So here's the 6x6 piece of paper. Anytime you have a one-sheet wonder, always look for what's going to be your first cut. So that's going to be something that's going to go all the way across. So in this case, I have it going at 4 inches. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. I am going to, I need more space here so you can see. There we go, sorry. Just when you think you're organized, then something comes up. So, all right, so let me cut it at 4. So here we have the 2 pieces. Okay, so this 2-inch piece, I'm going to cut it to 5 1/4 then. Okay, so this little piece here, so let me get that real quick first. 5 1/4, which I need to do it in this direction. Sorry, I am all over the board today, aren't I? All right, so here we go. 5 1/4. Now this little piece I'm actually going to discard it, so sorry about that, but I am going to throw that one away. So now I have this piece that is 2 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, let me bring it back up. For some reason I like whenever my paper's down here at the bottom. So, okay, let me bring in now the cheat sheet here. So we have now this 4x6 piece here. I'm going to cut it at 2 inches. Okay, so give me a cut at 2 inches. So I will have a piece that is 2 by 4. Let me pop this out of the way. So this is the 2 by 4 piece that I cut off. This is 4 by 4, so I guess I do need my paper trimmer back again. Here's the 4 by 4. I'm actually going to cut it on a diagonal so that I can get 2 additional, or a total of 2 cards then out of that. So let me bring back in, cut it on the diagonal, so just fit one here, a corner here, 1/4 here. Where am I? Here and here. Okay, here we go. Now I'm done with the cutter. I can set that off to the side. So here are those pieces, the 4x4 that I trimmed down. Okay, this is the 2 by 5 1/4, and here is a piece then that is 2 by 4. Okay, so those are the pieces. I'm going to actually make 4 cards all together. So let's get, I'm going to start with this one here and pull in all my supplies. First of all, the stamp set that I'm going to use is the Seaside Notions. It seemed like the minute that I saw this, the colors that I wanted to use, it made me think of the ocean. So that's why I grabbed this, this stamp set here. So I'm going to use the little seahorse and some crumb cake. So let's pull in the first thing we're going to do. My supplies. I'm actually using an oval cut with the stitched shapes out of Whisper White with a corresponding then crumb cake of the scallop ovals there. I have a piece, let's start from the bottom then, of, you guessed it, Blueberry Bushel, 5 1/2, 8 1/2. This score line is at 4 1/4. Okay. Inside, then I'm going to have a piece of Whisper White. All right. 5 1/4 by 4. Then the front of the card, I have Balmy Blue that I have cut at 5 1/4 by 4. This I ran through the embossing folder called High Seas. Just wanted to add a little bit of texture to it then. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. I have this piece of crumb cake, which is, I'm crazy, but I like my layering and I like it to be just 1/8 of an inch bigger then. So we're talking now, this crumb cake is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, I know those eighths sometimes can be a little confusing, but it's just 1/8 inch bigger then. So I'm going to go ahead. I just used liquid glue on this. Okay, now I will get Blueberry Bushel. This again, just like the, let me pull in, I do have another piece of it here. I just cut a piece of that at 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So just like the DSP, it was a square that I then ran through and cut it on the diagonal. Okay, so let me go ahead and put this down. I just happen to have my liquid glue out, so I'm just going to use that. Okay, and I'm just going to put that, make sure it is nice and even, or flush rather, with the edges there, so I have a nice margin sticking out here. Now this I am going to put down onto here, onto the front of my card. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. I'll show you one thing that maybe I shouldn't have put that Balmy Blue emboss layer down just yet. And I'll show you why I say that. So this will just go, and you can pick any corner to put it in. So any corner you want, I just happen to like the upper left. Now, because I'm using the this layer of cardstock, it does stick out. So if I would have just been patient and waited, but let me see if I can just snip that off. All right, not bad. Not bad at all. All right, so here we go. This, I am sure now, I can put this down onto my card base. We're going to get into some stamping here in a moment. Having some fun with that on this card. Now, like I said, I made 4 cards all together, and yes, they are all the same. Okay. All right, look what I did here too. I'm talking too much. I actually I want my waves going a specific direction. I don't know if you can see that on camera. So let's do this, and I'm going to have it going in this direction. Okay, this might mess me up for what I want to do next, but all right, so here we go. I am making a thinking of you card with this. So the inside of my card, I often like to just leave blank. That way I can write my own message. However, I do want to do a little something fun on the inside, just a little stamping. So I just pulled out the sand dollar image. I have some crumb cake ink, and I have a blender pen. And I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do here. So let me ink this up, the sand dollar, and just pop it here in the corner. And I'm going to get my blender pen and just come in and just kind of smush that ink around just to give a little bit of color to that sand dollar. All right. And I don't know there again if you can see that it's just highlighted a little bit, ever so lightly there, in the little flower and then the little openings there of the sand dollar. So that's going to be on the inside of my card. Okay. So, yeah, Nicole, I knew you were going to like that because I know you love blender pens, so yeah. Now, let me just get that inside in there real quick. Now, to the outside, I want to do the seahorse. I'm going to use the blender pen again, so let me just move this off to the side. Here is one of my stitched ovals here from the Stitched Shapes, and let me get the seahorse inked up here. All right, I'll try not to bump my camera here. Let's get this down. And I'm actually going to do the same thing with the blender pen here. And there's no true rhyme or reason to it. Just kind of swirl it around, get that ink just to kind of smear on itself. And it just adds a little hint of color that people are going to be like, huh, how'd you do that? Now, that is what it looks like just by running the blender pen over it. I want to do a little bit of highlighting on some of these little lines that's on this guy. So I'm just going to take the tip of my blender pen, just touch it onto the ink pad. Now that's going to come out pretty dark, so I just wipe a little bit off on my scrap paper, and then just come through and just where the lines of the stamp are, just kind of add a little bit of darkness to that. All right, you can do it anywhere you want and just darken it up some. Okay, and there he is. There's the seahorse, just a little hint of color. Okay, so let me go ahead and get him put down onto my oval, the scallop that comes in the layering ovals. And you guessed it, I'm going to put on some dimensionals. Now, if you don't like to use a lot of dimensionals, close your eyes, okay? Because I love to use my dimensionals. I'm actually going to restrain myself a little bit here, okay? So, the other thing I initially wanted to have, which I think I still can, I wanted to do it this way, and I think I still can. So, tell you what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take off one dimensional for the moment, okay, because seems like I'm just getting ahead of myself here with everything. Let me just take a little trim. This is actually the sentiment out of that stamp set. I just stamped it on some Whisper White, trimmed it down to size, and then did the little banner cut here on the end. So let me just go ahead. Just a little bit of let me just place it, put a little bit of adhesive there, and kind of figure out where I want to put it. Yep. All right. So now I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of that, but let me just snip that off. Good. All right, there we go. So bring back my dimensionals. And there we go. Okay, almost done with this card. And guess what? The card with the other diagonal piece is done the very same way. So I'm not going to bore you by showing you how to do it yet one more time. Maybe I should, that way I could make it the right way. But hey, that's what this is all about, is making it your way and always knowing how to fix your mistakes. So, okay. There is that. And of course, I want to add some of the enamel dots because I really do like these things. So let me just get, there's 3 different sizes, so I'm going to put one of each size on here. 1, 2, and I will show you here in a second if I can pick up this dot, enamel dot. The other way that I wanted to honestly do this card as well. Okay, so card number 1. Let me show you card number 2. Like I said, it's done the very same way, but this is what it looks like with it in the other corner then. So, you know, I guess this one was a happy mistake because I'm okay with it that way as well. So, okay, so here technically are the first 2 cards. Now, let's pull out the piece that is 2 by 4. Okay, I have a piece of blueberry bushel that is 2 1/4 by 4. Yeah, I know. I just got done saying how I like my borders or my layers to be 1/8 of an inch bigger, and this time I'm messing with you and doing it just a little bit bigger, that 1/4 of an inch. So let me go ahead and put that down. Okay, this is pretty much all of the pieces are, other than what was cut with the out of the DSP, everything else is going to be the same. This piece of balmy blue, I actually stamped the happy birthday out of the stamp set in balmy blue ink before I ran it through the embossing folder. So if you want to do that, that's fun, but make sure you do the stamping before you do run it through. Otherwise, you'll never be able to get a good clean image then stamping it. Okay, so this time I can do this, putting it onto my crumb cake, and I'm also going to go ahead and attach my 2 by 4 here. So as far as adhesive goes, it's like whatever happens to be in my reach is what I'm going to use. I honestly do, though, whenever I'm using embossing folders, I do whatever kind of touches the embossing folder. I do like to use the liquid glue. I don't know, it's in my mind that it would make it adhere better, but who knows. So, all right, this I'm going to actually now go ahead and put it down to the card front. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on the inside. Okay, dimensions again are all the same. The card base, top folding, 8 1/2, 5 1/2. All right, now here is my insides. The "Here's to You" also comes from that stamp set. However, I am going to include another little ditty that I can use my blender pen with, and I have this piece of coral. I'm going to stamp it this time, though, in the blueberry bushel. Okay, just stamp it down here, and let me do this before I drop something into it. All right, grab my blender pen. Okay, so make sure it's cleaned off, and I kind of let the stamp tell me where, just to kind of do the smear of it. Where these little dots are on this piece of coral is where I'm running the blender pen over, just to give it some fun little shadowing. Makes me feel like an artist. Cleaning it off just by rubbing it on your scrap paper, and we're good to go there. Okay, let's get this now put on the inside. We're going to have this card, which I guess technically is card number 3. done here real soon. And the reason I say that is because I have already stamped my seahorse. I already have him attached to my scallop, and I already have the dimensionals on the back. So all I have to do now is get him put down onto the card. Let's just kind of put him right here. And voila. Time, yep. Even though I feel like this is sort of a masculine birthday card, I'm still going to put the enamel dots on. All right. So 1, 2, and that little one just doesn't want to. Here we go. Hand 3. Okay. So, like I said, that's going to be card number 3 that I'm going to say. Okay. So, one more. We have this piece that is 2 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. I am going to attach it. The piece of blueberry bushel. It measures 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. So I have that wider margin. There we go. All right. I'm a little wide here, so let me just trim this down. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put this down now to my emboss layer. Yes, I'm making another birthday card. So again, I did stamp the birthday before I embossed it. This time I'm just going to put it up a little bit. So I hope everyone had a great weekend. We did here. It was cool, but yet beautiful, if you know what I mean. So we were able to get outside, get some laundry done. I hang my laundry up outside, and I actually got some cleaning done. And people that know me know I am not much for being a house cleaner. And so yeah, I actually did some. So I wish people could come over now to see it, because I don't know how long that will last. So anyway, let's get this put down now to the top of the card. All right. The inside of it, the Here's to You, I actually changed it up and I put the sand dollar. And again, I just did the smearing a little bit using the blender pen. And like I said, if you wanted to just dip your blender pen into the ink pad, just tap it really, and you'll be able to pick up some additional ink if you want it just a little darker. And I think that's what I did here. So, all right. Here we go. The inside's there. Once again, I already have my seahorse done. So I am going to just pop him down. I am really bad about looking at comments and what have you, so I'll come back and I will answer anybody's questions or anything. I honestly, that is something I am really bad at, so I admit it. So here we go, back with some dimensionals now, or not dimensionals, excuse me, these enamel dots. So it was kind of fun making these, because once I got the idea of what to do, they went quick. So that's what's nice with a one sheet wonder. You can cut your papers down to whatever sizes you want, but it's nice to kind of follow along a guide and do it. So all right, so here we go. 1, let me see where I'm at, and 2, and then these 2 guys here. So here are my, I don't know if I'm even getting them close to being in frame, my one sheet wonder cards featuring Blueberry Bushel. Like I said, be sure if you're interested in it, get it before it retires. The stamp set I used was the Seaside Notions, a really fun stamp set here. And come back again tomorrow. Like I said, I will have another one sheet wonder. It'll be different. It'll be featuring a different color. Make sure after I'm done here, I will post a hint on which one I'll be showing. So make sure and leave a comment, and so that I can then maybe pick your name to receive a card. If you share this, I will also put your name into a hat to possibly receive a card as well. So there's a chance of two people winning to each receive cards. So, hey guys, thanks so much for hanging with me here. I appreciate it, and I will see you tomorrow night. Thanks so much, guys. Bye now.